Hey, so again, the point of my readings is not to endorse any particular couple or claim to have any insider information, but really to look at the astrology of people, the astrology of individuals, the astrology of famous people, the astrology of people in the public eye, because that is the best way we can learn astrology collectively, is to look at people that we all know. So, as you may or may not know, I'm not going to go into a huge spiel about them. You've probably heard of them if you pay attention at all to pop culture or anything of that nature. I don't particularly listen to any of Blueface's music, but I do know and have heard of him. So he also, I think, had like some reality show with a bunch of girls or something in a house or something like that. So he also had got money off of that. Chrisean Rock has been on, I believe she was on Bad Girls Club. She also, is in the entertainment industry. There are a couple that are mainly known for their public fights, for, their arguments, for, a lot of back and forth antics online. People have said like the relationship is abusive, or that, she's not treated right. And then some people look at it and say, well, he's not treated right, because Chrisean also can be quite physically confrontational. So it's a lot going on here. Now, the reason I have set the charts up like this is because I don't have either birth time, which means it doesn't matter right now what house anything. I don't need to show you the houses because we don't have the houses. So this is a lot easier for us to just look at the energy within the chart. Okay. So she's a Pisces, he's an Aquarius. The difference in a Pisces and an Aquarius person is really going to be the Pisces person is more sensitive. And though she can fly off the handle, what you would expect for someone like that, who kind of gets into altercations, who, it's interesting to see certain clips of Chrisean because it does seem like she's had a really rough upbringing. Pisces energy can be really sensitive to those things. Not only is she a Pisces, but she does have multiple Pisces placements in the chart. We're going to ignore the MC because we do not know if that is her midheaven. But as you can see, she has the Sun, Mercury, and Venus in Pisces. This can also mean sometimes she could, Mercury in Pisces, it's sometimes unclear how she communicates herself, what she really wants. Mercury, we know, is considered to be in detriment. Sometimes people say fall, but it's really detriment because Mercury rules Virgo. But sometimes people will put like Mercury as the primary ruler of Gemini and like Virgo secondary. But either way, Mercury rules that sign. So I consider it to be detriment. Venus is in Pisces as well. So she does have this wish and want for a relationship that she feels she is going to feel safe in. She does come from a background that was very difficult growing up. She had a lot of siblings and she's talked openly about that. Her Venus is at the first degree. That's that Aries fight energy. Not only that, what we would likely see in a person, in a woman like Chrisean, who's a Pisces but has that fiery fighting type of energy within her, whether it's with Blueface or other women or girls that are getting on her nerves, is that Mars and Aries energy. But clearly her moon is in Cancer. This is a very sensitive person. And not only that, we know that Mars and Cancer, not Mars, I'm sorry, that Aries and Cancer are square signs. Now, if you look here, it's 10 degrees between her moon and Mars. It's a little far apart, when we think of the power of a square, but that's enough for there to be conflicts between her emotions and how to get it out, how to express it. When you're very sensitive and you haven't tuned into your sensitivity, it sometimes can manifest into this erratic action because you're so passionate and you're so sensitive, but you don't know how to deal with it, especially for people who have had any trauma growing up. So right off the bat, I think that's the most important thing to know about Chrisean's chart. When we look at Blueface's chart, so we do see that the moon is at 29 degrees if we use a 12 o'clock default time. I'm going to err on the fact that we don't have his time, but I would bet he would be been born before 12 p.m. Because if he was born like 8 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever, he would be a Cancer moon. We don't really see that from him. Though the moon, people can say, is a little bit harder to detect, it's really not when we look at someone's reactions to something. His reactions to Chrisean in the baby mama drama, he has 2 kids with his baby mama, is he has 2 kids with his children's mother, and they're back and forth as well. It's very, very air energy. The way he, talks to Chrisean, and again, and some of it's for entertainment. This whole thing, he even went on record lately and said, well, I'll talk about that in a moment. But if we look here, like you clearly can see that if this is an individual like that, right? This kind of everything's a joke, everything's a game, it's a lot of mind games. That is very much a Gemini moon thing. And if he is an Aquarius with a Gemini moon, you can get a man who is not going to openly show emotion. Is not going to openly, like when Chrisean is crying, you're not going to get a, oh man, all right, let me hug you and hold you. And he's got Capricorn in his chart. The reason I think he is a Gemini moon and not a Cancer moon is because also we could look at, well, if someone kind of plays mind games with someone, if someone always has to be on top of someone intellectually, that's not really Mercury in Capricorn. Right? That's a Gemini thing that it seems like he's playing, but it's really kind of hurtful. Right? But he's not a very vulnerable guy. Okay? Even if you look at the way his relationship with his mother is not good. Okay? And so that's why I'm saying, like, I also think it's a moon and Gemini situation where like his moods fluctuate. What he wants fluctuates. Him and Chrisean might they recently supposedly broke up. They might get back together in a few weeks. Right? That is because his moods fluctuate. What he wants fluctuates. You know, he'll have a whole post about how crazy Chrisean is in his words and then be back with her. Right? And I do think that's a moon and Gemini thing. I also say that because, you know, that wouldn't be Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury in Capricorn is kind of how he's kind of rather blunt. He's kind of rather direct. He's kind of rather like, he doesn't like soft sugarcoat any of his responses, even when it comes to his mother. Him and his mother don't get along. I believe Blueface also doesn't get along with his sister. And I believe the mother had said, you know, with all of these things, this drama, Chrisean, I think, fought the mother. It's a lot going on that his sister, his mom, and I believe she said like his stepdad, like they all put money into for him to record his first album. And so, I mean, his first song. So she kind of felt like he's not being appreciative, whatever the case may be. You know, that's kind of that nature of that Mercury squaring Saturn is a person who's very deliberate in what they say. And it also stands. Doesn't mean they're right, but he doesn't really waver on what he says or thinks. Like, this is not a person easily influenced by what other people want him to say or think. And because of this negative relationship with the mother, I wouldn't think it's a moon in Cancer, though it can be. Because, of course, a moon in Cancer, you could say, well, if he's a moon in Cancer, it's going to square Saturn, which is going to bring some hardships in that relationship. Either way, the moon squares Saturn. If the moon's at the 29th degree and Saturn's at the 2nd degree, either way, doesn't matter the sign, by degree, his moon squares Saturn, which can help us kind of see that difficulty with that relationship. And that's not something that's easily, there's going to be some drama within that mother-son relationship. Even with the moon, so the moon at the 29th degree, even if it's the 29th degree, if it was, again, it could be squaring Mars. So even if this is like a roundabout, either way, I wouldn't be surprised if by degree his moon directly squares both Saturn and Mars, or one of the other. So you're going to get a mind game type of dude with this, right? I mean, Aquarius, also his sun is conjunct Uranus. That can help us understand his image, the tattoos on the face. You know, his whole persona is a little bit different, how he projects and how he shows and, how he styles himself, even how he looks. Now, the tattoos on the face is a very much a Generation Z type of thing with the rappers. I mean, that's not surprising, but Sun conjunct Uranus is going to bring someone who's kind of different in some way, who does not show the typical characteristics of other people. He seems kind of nonchalant. He's very, Aquarius is good when it comes to bringing people together. So even though people could say that show he had was like the women were fighting, it was like a version of Bad Girls Club. It sounded like he had these women in the house and they would, not getting along. But, he's an Aquarius. And we know Aquarius can be really good with delegating and getting a group together. Not only that, he has Capricorn in his chart. So he has the ability to make good money. Venus is in Capricorn. Even if, he gets out of the music industry, and actually I think he's focusing more on his entertainment than music right now, like, not movie, but TV and things like that, than music. So he has all this Capricorn energy in his chart, which does show this kind of desire and need to succeed and do things in a way that are going to bring him the things he's in status that he wants. It is about money. Venus in Capricorn, he will date someone for money, or for not for him just to get their money, But there was a situation where apparently Chrisean was giving her check to him, and I forgot what I forgot how that came about, but she was giving him her money that she was making, even though he has his own money. So this is kind of a controlling technique. It's a controlling tactic. And also, maybe it was for her own good. I mean, there are some alcohol issues that Chrisean has. I'm not saying all Pisces deal with that. I know plenty of Pisces who do not have alcohol issues, but she also has her Pisces degree, the 24, which is a Pisces degree. Hopefully over time, eventually she does learn to find and seek, truth, and to find and seek, peace within herself. But that is going to be something that's going to be quite a journey. Her North Node's in Leo. Chrisean is going to have to find her own spark. Once she finds her own spark and what she enjoys and really elevates her self-esteem and confidence is when she likely will have more experience with feeling better about herself. Right now, she's kind of in this South Node in Aquarius, right? This experience, this past life type of experience and situations. Past life energy sometimes can be difficult because what's happening is, she's tied to this dream, this imagination. She has Neptune conjunct South Node. This giving, this self-sacrificial, like she looks at this relationship and holds on to it. And people can say, well, why is she still holding on? Why is she not, leaving? But, you look at her chart and you see Jupiter in Taurus, okay? Whatever she values, she's going to find herself valued. She's going to have more luck when she does that. But I'm looking at the Saturn in Taurus. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, when I talked about Saturn in Taurus, I said this sign can be successful, but usually it takes a little bit of time. She does have money. She is on social media and things like that. But Saturn and Taurus can really come from like a really, really humble beginning and have a rags to riches story. We do know she grew up, I believe, one or two of her parents, there was some poverty, maybe some addiction there. And so for Chrisean, it's about seeking safety. She's also a moon in Cancer. And if she's decided that, Blueface is her man, this is who she wants to be with, she's going to try to hold on to that. Now, recent news was that they broke up, not before... Well, before apparently she announced she was pregnant, right? Now, he already has 2 kids with the other woman that he was with before Chrisean, but he's been back and forth between both of them, and he dates around, she dates around, but he claims that, well, that's what he claims. He claims and again, this is what you're going to get with a Gemini energy type guy, this kind of trickster energy, which is probably amusing for certain people. And it's Aquarius kind of quirkiness and this Aquarius shock value, Uranus shock value, Sun conjunct Uranus, where he said, oh, I don't know if that's my baby, right? Chrisean's been messing with so-and-so and so-and-so. So think about that. That's not a Mercury in Capricorn move. The things that he says, the things that Blueface does, I think it's very much, not to say this is all Geminis, but it's that Aquarius, Sun, Gemini, Moon. It's like whatever he says and feels, he'd rather say things than actually dig deeper into what he truly feels. And he has Chiron and Scorpio. So that would be something he has to work on personally if he wanted to. Whereas Chrisean does best when she does find faith and belief. And I do believe she talked one time about God. So I think she has some type of belief system. But that is where, Chrisean would grow, and evolve. She has Pluto conjunct Chiron. She would evolve from really diving deeper into the truth and really allowing herself to change for the better when it comes to moments of truth, moments of accountability, moments where she has to really find ways to really elevate herself and transcend past her current situations. So, there's a lot to be said there. Also, she has Uranus and Aquarius as well. So, there's generational overlaps, of course, anytime you have people who born around the same clusters of time. So they both have Neptune. No, they don't both have Neptune in Aquarius. They both have Pluto in Sagittarius. They both have Neptune in Aquarius. But he has Neptune in Capricorn, which is why, his reality of becoming a rapper and his dreams have really, whether you agree with him as a person or not, he's been able at a young age to have success and to basically be able to have some, continue to have some momentum. A lot of times these days, it's not enough just to put out an album. A lot of artists are doing things like having, making money off social media, making money off reality shows, right? Things like that. So there's something to it in the terms of like, if he keeps the route he's going, there can be some success there. Now, the problem with the Mars and Libra, I'm gonna tell you this as well. The Sun is trining Mars. When he has an idea, he does it, which can be harmful when he has an idea to say something or embarrass her or do something, right? But he does have, Mars and Libra as a placement can be rather passive aggressive. Okay. So even when you see the one interview with his mom, he's like, "You talking to me like I forgot what he said, but he said something like, you acting like you special or something," and he says it kind of jokingly. That's why I said I really think he's likely a Gemini moon. It's a very trickster, playful type of energy that he has. Like, he's not. It's interesting because with Blueface, you rarely see him angry. I know he had gotten I think he had fought Chrisean's dad. I forget about the drama between them and all their family members, but we forget that. But he's not really always by default doing things physically. It's his words. It's very air-like, right? It's the things he says that can incite people and things like that. But Mars and Libra as a sign can be, and as we can see, his Mars is squaring Saturn, and that creates issues in terms of full range of someone's, self-respect. It's not self-respect, but esteem for oneself. The actions that they do. It's like, he's not really carrying himself. He's not going to carry himself fully as somebody that is trying to seek a level of, dignity or respect from others. It's kind of just like, if I acquire this, what I have, Venus and Capricorn, what I have, my money, I'm who I am, it is what it is, I don't care about what you say, type of energy when you look at this. And also Mars squaring Saturn means he doesn't like to be told what to do. Not squaring, I'm sorry. Mars opposing Saturn. He doesn't like to be told what to do. That's just not going to work for him. He's not something. Now, Mars and Libra has struggles because we know Mars rules, Aries. So he has some lessons around Mars and Saturn because Saturn is exalted in Libra, and we know Mars rules Aries. So that those planets do have some work to do. Now, because I did not plan this reading and I'm quickly doing this, I'm not going to talk about all the aspects between their charts and within their charts. But I did want to mention that. Also, another thing to keep in mind, their Mars, this conflict in their relationship and their violence and the drama, that is because, look at this, their opposite sign Mars. Their approach, the way to do things is often sometimes going to lead in an argument, right? Now, what does help is Mars, she responds probably well to his Mercury and Capricorn, his kind of reassurance. She kind of might be drawn to the way in which he's a little bit more clear than her in terms of things that he wants to say and what he thinks. Well, their Mercury signs are sextiling, Pisces and Capricorn sextile, right? But Pisces sometimes can be a little bit more demure, a little bit more submissive in that regard. Now, the thing about it is because Pisces knows what to fight for and what not to fight for sometimes. It's not that Pisces is submissive, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying within her chart, she's been seen, she has tattoos, right, of him on her body, right? This kind of shows her whatever she values. She kind of goes a little, like I said earlier, about that Venus in that first degree, right? And his Venus is at the 13th degree, which is another Aries degree as well. Again, the Venus in Capricorn can be the reason why he's about money. He's okay with making money off his relationship, no matter how toxic it is. He even said, and recently, after he's denied being the father of her child, apparently she's pregnant. Again, we'll see what unfolds after that. But he said, anything you see of me and her is going to be just entertainment, because they do have the reality show starting, okay? Or it's already started. I'm not sure. It's a reality show between them, okay? Now, lastly, if we look here, Blueface's North Node, oh my goodness, is in Libra. So, conjunct Mars. He's supposed to learn to work through his conflict. He's supposed to learn relationships and how to have, how to cooperate within partnerships in ways. Even with Mars, it can be about, learning to better guide and direct your anger, how to fully be in situations with people, and not just Chrisean, but North Node of Libra, you're learning how to be in meaningful, communication and bonds with other people. You are starting to think of ways in which you're going to improve the more you allow yourself to not just be self-centered. Okay. And he has some positive aspects there. The sun is trining his north node. Uranus is trining his north node. Again, I don't have time to list everything, but with that, I think that could be really beneficial because that helps us see that, like, through ideas and through his mindset, when he has a healthy mindset about things, he has more potential. I don't like to look at people's charts as lost causes unless we know somebody is, right? Like, if we know of a situation or something like that, if we know of somebody that's just horrible, fully out. I don't know these individuals. You don't know these individuals. But this is just a general understanding of their energy together and apart.